I'd like to do another Shock Brill song. It's a song about old people. I'd like to tell you a little story about old people. I don't know. I told this last night. I hope the people that were here won't mind. It's something that really points up the meaning of the song to me. There's one thing in the world, well, there's several things, I guess, but one thing that I just cannot imagine is myself growing old. I don't think anybody can. Can you picture what you're going to be like when you're 50 years old? Anybody? What you'll be doing with your life? You can't. It's impossible. And old people they're really beautiful. They really are. They're a lot like kids, I think. In fact, old people are the only people that really have time for kids, it would seem today. I mean, parents, by the time they start having children, they're so wrapped up in their business and cocktail parties and stuff like that, they don't have time for kids anymore. Little kids, they don't have time for teenagers, they don't have time for college kids, they don't have time for anybody but themselves, it would seem. The only people that really have time for children, I mean, us, I don't think that we need them, actually. We can get by on our own. We don't miss that contact so much. Or if we do, perhaps it doesn't show outside. But little kids are different. And the only people that have time for little kids are the old people, because they have all the time in the world, it would seem. And, or rather, that's all they do have is time. But there are different kinds of old people. One kind, they're old in years perhaps, but very, very young in their hearts. And I know some people like that. My grandparents-in-law, if that's the way you would say it, the grandparents of my wife are in their 80s. And 3 weeks ago now, I guess, they celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary. And that's really something. I mean, that's twice as long as I've even been alive. And a lot of people, I guess just about everybody gets married, and it lasts 2 or 3 years, it would seem, these days. But some people have a 20th wedding anniversary, a 25th. My folks just had their the 27th, I guess. And they have their 30th and maybe their 40th or 45th. But very, very few people have a 50th wedding anniversary. And when they do, it's really a big occasion. And these folks had a party down there. They had all of their friends from all over the world, well, all over the country, actually. There were some people that didn't come from across the seas. But they had about 150 people there. And I think that except for my father and mother-in-law and my wife and her 2 sisters and 1 brother, that everybody else that was at this party was over 60 years old. Wasn't a person there younger than 60. And it was really neat, I'll tell you, because I found out one thing that night I didn't know previously. Old people have got dirty minds. They really do, and it's kind of amazing because, I mean, be honest with you, you can't picture your grandma and your grandpa doing it, right? Now, honest, well, you can't. I mean, it's bad enough to think of your parents that way, but not grandma, little round grandma with rosy cheeks and everything. Now, come on, you guys. I'm not trying to be obscene or anything like that. But you figure, I guess they only did it once, and that was to have your parents, I guess, and that's all, if it happened at all. But, come on, you guys you're getting the wrong impression of this. But what I was getting at, it's like some of these people that they all got up there, that they had a few things to say about the couple that we were honoring, so to speak. And they said a bunch of things like Jim, their only son, was standing in the back of the church when they got married and stuff like that, And it really kind of amazed me. I'll tell you one very funny thing. One couple brought him a present, very nicely framed, a full-page joke, full-page cartoon that was in Playboy. And they gave this to this couple, 80 years old, on their 50th wedding anniversary. It's two people sitting on the front porch of this old ramshackle house, home sweet home, on a sign up in front. They're in rocking chairs, and the old lady is knitting, and she says, "You never sock it to me anymore." And I thought that was just fantastic. It was really neat. But the only reason I bring that up is like these people really are. They're very young in their hearts. They're always doing something. My grandfather plays... Now, come on, you guys. Doggone it. I didn't mean to get this started. Shoot. My grandfather plays golf every day. And they're living in a sort of a trailer court for retired people down in Scottsdale, Arizona. And, every night there's bingo or there's a square dance or something like this. They've always got something going on. And they're very active old people. And the next day, when I was leaving Phoenix, while I was waiting to get on the plane, we were just about ready to board. There were about 6 or 7 old people who were also flying back to Minnesota. And these old people had to be pushed out to the plane in wheelchairs. They had to be carried onto the plane and placed in their seats like fragile little dolls. And it was very saddening and very sobering to see this, especially having been in touch with such young people the night before. Now, this song is about the latter kind. It's about the old people who, it seems, are quite often shut away in a home someplace. They have no one left but each other. And I think it's the saddest song in the world.
The old folks don't talk much. They talk so slowly when they do. They are rich, they are poor, their illusions are gone. They share one heart for two. Their homes all smell of time, of old photographs and an old-fashioned song. Though you may live in town, you live so far away when you've lived too long. Have they laughed too much? To their dry voices crack, talking of times gone by? And have they cried too much? A tear or two still always seems to cloud the eye. They tremble as they watch the old silver clock when day is through. Tick-tock so slow. It says yes, it says no, it says I'll wait for you. The old folks dream no more. The books have gone to sleep and the piano's out of tune. The little cat is dead and no more do they sing on a Sunday afternoon. The old folks move no more. Their worlds become too small, their bodies feel like lead. They might look out the window, or else sit in a chair, or else they stay in bed. And if they still go out, arm in arm, in the morning's chill, it's to have a good cry, to say their last goodbye to one who's older still. And then they go home to the old silver clock when day is through. Tick-tock so slow. It says yes, it says no, it says I'll wait for you. The old folks never die. They just put down their heads stand like children in the dark, but one would get lost anyway. The old folks move no more, their worlds become too small, their bodies feel like lead. They might look out the window, or else sit in a chair, or else they stay in bed. You'll see them when they walk through the sun-filled park, where children run and play. It hurts too much to smile, it hurts too much, but life goes on for still another day, as they try to escape the old silver clock when day is through. Tick-tock, so slow, it says yes, it says no, it says I'll wait for you. The old silver clock that's hanging on the wall, that waits